Well, we think it is. We'll see. Yeah.
Do we have to talk about this team?
Yeah.
We
What's
do.
up? What's
we
up,
do.
Shannon?
Yeah.
Do we have to?
Because it's a question.
Hey,
Have
D,
they
what's
been
going on?
exposed
What's up?
now?
Well, you know, I sent Skip had a tweet. I loved it. It said that Aaron Rodgers has a voodoo doll on his Cowboys, and I tweeted him back. Can we show it when I sent him back? Can we please show it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can we pull it up when I showed him?
Yeah.
I said no, he don't have a voodoo. He got a couple of them.
Couple
Aaron
of
Rodgers got a couple of voodoo dolls.
3 of them. There it is.
There they are. That's
there
the
it
voodoo
is.
dolls are.
You know what? And what did I text you back? I think you're right.
I think you're right. I
That
think
is
you're
correct.
right. I think you're right.
Yeah, that's actually that they're. It's like he's their
I
daddy.
think I like the look on Jerry's face, like, huh? Like what? Okay, all right. Look, I said this earlier. I said this from the beginning, Skip. I said y'all are playing nobody. Nobody. You played the Giants, you played the Redskins, and you played the Miami Dolphins. Between those 3 teams, they're 2-13. When the good teams they played, the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, blowout, right?
Wasn't a blowout, 10 to 12.
12 to 10.
12 to 10. And the Green Bay Packers. It could have been a blowout, the Green Bay Packers. Those teams are 8-2.
For a while it was.
8-2. You know, the thing is, the Cowboys, I still believe, are a good football team. They really are. I think one of the things that people, and I like Jason Garrett. I like Jason Garrett. But I think it's time for the Cowboys to really look at moving on to another coach. Because they have a lot of talent on that football team. Look at Dallas Cowboys. They have a lot of talent, defensively and offensively. Then they brought in Kellen Moore, the new offensive coordinator, you know, so he's going to make things different. But you know what? And the thing about the NFL, and Shannon, you know this, it doesn't take long. We watch enough film on you. Oh, now we see what you like to do. And I just feel like the Cowboys, like I say, they're a good football team. I can't take that away from them. I still feel that the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in that division. I feel like Philadelphia could be 5-0 or 4-1 also. But the Cowboys right now are struggling. And I think they're struggling to try to find what their identity is. I mean, they are a running football team, but now they're a passing football team. The defense is supposed to be so great this year. They show signs of greatness at times, then all of a sudden they fall off. Against bad teams, they're really good. They really are. Against the New Orleans Saints, they were good, but they weren't great. They weren't the Cowboys that I thought that I was going to see. I'm glad I saw that Cowboy team because they lost. But anyway, so I'll say that to say that the Cowboys, I still think, are a good football team, but when they play against really good opponents, it shows how, I guess, inadequate they really are.
Well, Skip, I tried to prepare you for this because every week you came in the first 3 weeks, you looking in the camera, how about this and how about that? But I also told you, you can't spell Dallas without back-to-back L's. And y'all took them things 2 weeks in a row, ED. They got them. New Orleans Saints put that thing on them, and Green Bay put that thing on you. But I tried to tell you, Skip, I said, Skip, you're not playing anybody. Man, my quarterback looked so good. Ezekiel Elliott looked good. My defense, ooh, I'm so impressed. I said, Skip, when you play a real team, you're going to find out what you're not. Okay, and here we go. Now you want to talk about Jason Garrett. You want to talk about, no, I want to hear that. You ain't mentioned Jason Garrett's name in the first 3 weeks. You can talk about your team, you clapping and all this and how good Dak looks. Now you got to play real teams. You get a little break now. You get a little break this week because you got the Jets. The Jets aren't very good, so I'm not going to sit here and try to build them up and make people think they are good because they're not. But you got a little stretch coming, and it's going to start with the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're going to put something on you next Sunday night. And I want you to come in with that energy that you're going to have this Monday. I want you to bring that same energy to the table come next week because they got something for you. 2-13. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Skip. You're a middle-of-the-pack defense. You're a middle-of-the-pack team. But I think the biggest thing, Skip, in all honesty, I think the biggest thing you're going through an identity crisis. Who are you? What are you? Are you a running team with Zeke? Are you transitioning to move this thing because you believe, Jerry, Stephen Jones believe that we got a franchise quarterback? Franchise quarterbacks do not turn the ball and hand the ball off 30, 40 times a game. They throw the ball. So what are you? Moving forward, Skip, are you a running team or are you a passing team? I think that is the dilemma that's really facing your Cowboys. You need to identify what you are, who you are, and ride that ship home.
So I feel like I'm experiencing deja vu today because last year this started happening and I kept warning both of you it's going to be deja voodoo for both of you because I want you to bring the same energy a week from Monday after the Eagles game at Jerry World. Because remember,
I am.
my team hit bottom last year. And to your very good point, I'm not a Jason Garrett guy. I'm not using an excuse because all the offseason, when I started making my predictions, I said this will be done in spite of that head coach. They have to carry him along for the ride because he's not going to detonate them. They have to take him along. So last year they fell to 3-5 after a debacle on Monday Night Football thanks to the Tennessee Titans. And the next week, guess where they went? They went to his town, Philly. They played his quarterback, walk it to him, and they walked all over him. Wolf Hunter picked him. Wolf Hunter picked him.
No, they did, Skip. It wasn't no walkover.
Huh? Yeah. And then guess
It
what?
wasn't a walkover.
Then the Eagles came to Jerry World, and we walked all over them again. And here we went, and we won 8 of our last 10 games. We went 8-2 down the stretch. We won a playoff game, and we gave a little fright, at least, to the Rams
please.
here. It was a one-score game. My quarterback almost got us back in that game, 30-22. But the point is, they made a lot of people eat a whole lot of fried crow on this show last year, and I think they're poised to do it again. I think they're a better team just because they all got a little older. But they need a scare, and I'm hoping Green Bay was enough of a humiliation, just an annihilation for a while, because it's 31-3. And I'm hoping because they did fight back and come within an onside kick of tying that game. Because there should have been an onside kick at the end because my field goal kicker missed a chip shot. Yeah, well, he did. It should have come down to an onside, right? And at New Orleans, it was a nip-tuck game. I don't know. I'm not ashamed of what happened at New Orleans.
No, they played them tough, but I told you.
Hey, Edie, you see what he like? Edie. Huh? Hey, Edie, you see what Skip likes to do in garbage time? See, Skip Bayless quarterback got a 3-course meal in garbage time and tried to tell us it's a 5-course meal. Nah, you got that meal in garbage time. You got it in trash.
You know what?
You got it out the trash. You didn't go to no fancy restaurant and get that meal. Stop
Garbage time. Garbage time is when you're down 45-0 and you get back to 45-20. My quarterback got us back in the game because all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers got stopped again, had to punt again, and it's a 2-score game, 2 touchdowns, and my team's got the ball back, and I think the whole stadium is starting to think, uh-oh, they're going to cut it to 31-24. And then, boy, some throats would have tightened up on that other sideline because here we come.
But your guy tightened up. Because what did he do? He came right back out there and threw a pick. But Skip, you remember last night you saw Pat Shermer challenge that PI. Skip, if that was not PI on Golden Tate, there is no way they was going to call that a PI on Michael Gallup. Now, you saw that last night. That was clearly PI on Golden Tate.
Okay.
And they didn't overturn that.
Kevin King.
So that should give you indication.
No, Kevin King committed assault and battery on Michael Gallup all the way down the field. No, he did. He's hitting him, grabbing him, slapping him, pulling his head down.
They were kind of grabbing each other.
Hey, you could have challenged that, but of course, my coach was out of challenges at that point, and it would have deleted the pick that he threw because he threw it to where Gallup was supposed to turn out and catch it, and all of a sudden, he's on the ground because he got thrown down. Way to go.
You know one
Then
thing,
they overturned that.
You know one thing about the Cowboys is when they play good teams, they give up 2 TDs more. When they play bad teams, good teams, they give up 2 TDs less.
Okay. So would you like to look at what happened last year?
Well, let me ask you: are we in last year or are we in this year?
Okay. Well, it's the
we're
same
not talking
team.
about last year.
We're growing up right before your very eyes, and we're following the same script we did last year.
You know, it's funny.
Where we struggle early, and then all of a sudden, boom, we take off.
No, you didn't struggle early. You jumped out on everybody early, and just like Shannon said, you jumped out against the Giants, the Redskins. You're like, oh, look at Dak. Look how great we look. We're gonna beat everybody. Oh, we're here to stay. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, we did this. No, well, we did that. So,
but here's the thing. But this is what he told me. You told me last year, you guys grew up. You say, right before your eyes, we launched, we took off once we got Amari. But Skip Bayless, if we keep shooting the same scene in the movie, when will we ever finish the movie? You keep talking about you growing up. You grew up last year. You're growing up right now. At what point in time are you grown and we get to watch this movie? I'm waiting.
Well, I'm waiting to see Space Jam 2 because LeBron fired the director. So I think they had to reshoot every scene. Am I
right? We're not talking about LeBron. We're not talking about LeBron and Space Jam. We're talking about your movie and them Cowboys.
Okay. I'm going to give you this one point. My defense horrifies me because it's taking years off my life. It's going to be the death of me because I can't figure it out. Because late last year, they just shut down Drew Brees and your New Orleans Saints. Kamara, they had nothing. Drew Brees threw for 127 at Jerry World. Kamara went 11 carries for 36 yards. And it was 13-10 Dallas. And then Seattle comes against the same defense to Jerry World for a playoff game. They led the league in rushing last year. And what happened in the playoff game? They went 24 carries for a grand total of 73 yards. That same defense then travels to Los Angeles to play your Rams and gives up 273 yards?
Plus.
Are you kidding me?
73.
That's like a game for Eric Dickerson, like
that's right.
273, right? Yeah. So I can't figure that out because then we come to this year, and down in New Orleans, they did a number on that offense, and it's a pretty good offense because you still have Kamara and Michael Thomas.
Absolutely.
And it's pretty good, and they kept him out of the end zone the whole game. And then they
What
come.
about your offense?
Yeah. I'm talking about my defense.
What
Are
about
you
your-
listening? Are you listening? Is the line
I want
clogged?
to talk about Dak.
Do
No,
you have
I
your
want to talk about
earpiece
Dak.
in? Okay, I'm talking about my defense.
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of Dak, I needed to correct something that Jen said. She said he's got 4 interceptions over the last 2 games. No, he's got 1 because he deserved only 1. That's all he's got.
But they count. Wait, they don't count the other 3?
No, they don't count.
They don't count them other 3?
No, they don't count.
Really?
No, seriously.
In Skip's book, they don't count.
No, well, he didn't. The end of the New Orleans game, he throws a Hail Mary on which he gets blasted by a slot blitzer right in the face, and they don't call roughing.
Well, let me ask you. If
all-time
he
roughing.
did throw a touchdown, they'd have called it a touchdown, wouldn't it?
Okay, well,
There you go. It'd have been a
but I'm-
touchdown
I'm
if he threw a
just-
touchdown.
I'm just talking about he didn't deserve that one. The one to Amari
Yeah, he
early.
deserved it.
The one early to Amari. Amari's talked all week about. I dropped it. It hit both of my hands. Is that deserving?
He
of
tried
an
to make Dak
interception
feel
to you?
good.
Hey, that's football.
He
That's
tried to
not
make,
football.
He tried to make
That's
Dak feel
football.
good.
Okay.
That's the way they count it. I will say your defense is getting some help back likely this Sunday in
Yep.
defensive tackle Antoine Woods.
He's big.
Out 3 weeks with a sprained MCL, and
Yep.
he is. He's much better than
Yep.
his backup. So you may see.
And by the way, I
some
think I might get
turnaround.
my 2 starting star tackles back for this game too, because we did not have them against Green Bay.
Well, you play against the big-time Jets, though. I know it's going to be that's a nail biter there now.
Tough game.
That's a tough one. They're playing against
They're
the
all
Jets.
tough.
Look out.
Maybe Le'Veon Bell will catch fire. Who knows?
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.